David Pakman has been doing a tour, so to speak, of these right-wing media channels. First it was Piers Morgan, and today we're covering him on Megyn Kelly, where he really comes locked and loaded with the facts and ready to shut them down at every angle. So I've got some rather great clips for us to look at and watch of that today, and I'll just jump in where's needed to provide some context.
It's been 8 years after that squeaker in 2016. They blew the 2018 midterms. Trump got defeated in 2020. The 2022 red wave led to Democrats growing their margin in the Senate. 2023 was a disaster. After repealing Roe v. Wade, every referendum on abortion has gone the opposite way. So there's an incredible desperation. And I have to say, Hogan, this is not a personal attack in any way. You seem like a really nice guy. We don't know each other. There's almost an affirmative action with these Trump folks where if these were football coaches that had lost everything for a decade, Kayleigh McEnany wouldn't be on Fox News. We wouldn't be going to Hogan and saying, give us your state. They've lost everything. And somehow, through some kind of affirmative action, I guess we still hear.
I mean, it was over right here. This is the point I try to make in most of my videos, and it's just devastating to say to a right-winger's face. I love that they pretend that we're scared of Donald Trump. These things are only happening because Democrats fear Trump, when it's like, why would we fear Trump when he single-handedly destroyed the Republican Party? They've been 8 years without a win. And that win, by the way, Trump lost the popular vote and by tens of thousands of votes squeaked out a razor-thin electoral college win. And even when Trump was in office and had the House and the Senate, he passed literally one bill that massively sent us into debt so much that actual Republicans who don't just follow Trump verbatim were pretty upset with it as well. So it's all silly and farcical to claim things like that. And he's also right at the end there where you hear the right attack DEI and affirmative action because these people are unqualified, even though that's not how DEI or affirmative action works. I swear right-wingers think that DEI is when a job runs out and finds the first black person on the street and hires them. But I digress. Yet they have these political pundits and high-ranking members in their own party who have been wrong in every single analysis they've made since 2016, yet still get prominently featured. Trump himself lost American jobs, did his job pretty poorly, and is still the candidate for the Republican Party. It's pretty asinine to consider one thing unqualified, but consider all of these people qualified.
Groceries and gas, they were even cheaper under Obama. They were even cheaper under Bush and cheaper under Clinton. I mean, yes, there is inflation. We have not had a deflationary spiral, but inflation's at about 3% right now, which is what every serious economist says is the target. With regard to the record right now, unemployment, I mean, it's almost silly for me to do this because the American people know, but we've never had unemployment below 4%. We've never had unemployment below 4% for this long in 50 years, and it remains there. Wage growth has outpaced inflation. GDP is a completely normal and healthy 3%. You know, it's like people know this.
Why don't you try immigration? Because that's in the news today, David.
Yes.
Take that one up.
Well, I mean, ask me a question about it. What's
are we doing better under Joe Biden when it comes to illegal immigration than we were under Trump?
How do you define better?
Fewer.
Okay, there's a few things to point out from this one. They say groceries and gas were cheaper under Trump, so Biden is failing, but grocery and gas were cheaper under Obama and Clinton. Does that mean that Trump failed? They would never admit that. At one point, we'll show a clip where they refuse to. It just shows inconsistency in their logic and how they're just trying to point fingers to make talking points, especially when by all economic measures, we're better off now. As of April 2024, wages have outpaced inflation by a year. That trend continues to now, so I have no idea why Megyn tried to say that's not true when it undoubtedly is. And from this chart, you can see that Trump and the Fed both massively outspent Biden in COVID relief. Large supplies of money into the economy with lack of supply to meet the demand is what causes inflation. And the fact that you would pin all the blame on Biden anyway and not any on Trump or the Fed is just disingenuous when they, again, massively outspent him. And the lack of supply and demand was under Trump's presidency. And once again, inflation is indeed at 3%. The marker that all economists agree is the best for growth. And to her last point on immigration, fewer does not mean better, which any way that you look at it, border crossings in 2019 doubled. Under Trump, Trump also has a lower apprehension rate than Biden. So again, it's inconsistent that she would point fingers at Biden, but not at Trump. But again, some point that I constantly try to make, undocumented immigrants, while committing far less crimes than US born citizens, pay massively into social services like Social Security and Medicare, aiding it by billions of dollars, more than most rich people, by the way, billionaires and Fortune 500 companies, all without taking from those services. And without them, these would run out much quicker. So it's not as simple to say fewer is better when most of our economic growth historically has always benefited from immigration.
Hogan just said that because certain things were cheaper under Trump, it's a failure of Biden. Will Hogan acknowledge, therefore, that because those very same goods were cheaper under Obama, Trump also did something wrong?
Well, I'm sure they were cheaper under Grover Cleveland too. That's not the
That's
point.
exactly
the point. The point is, where are we now?
You're just making.
Can we get the inflation back to where we were? And the answer is yes, with the right policy.
Are you calling for a deflationary spiral? I mean, here's the thing I don't understand, Megyn, and I'm not asking this rhetorically. I actually want to understand this as someone with a background in economics. If inflation goes below zero, you create a deflationary spiral where people
Even Trump said
expect
that.
things to be cheaper in the future, and so they wait to buy anything, which hurts the economy.
I love how easy he gets right-wingers to bite the bullet and expose the fallacy in their own logic. I mean, you can always go back and point at this was cheaper, this was cheaper. Like literally you can do it for each president. That doesn't make it a failure of that president or the economy. You can see how they refuse to say it was one for Trump, but it's of course one for Biden. Inflation helps us grow. And as we grow, some prices will go up. It's about maintaining the economy and the economic growth while it does, of which Biden has done umpteen times better than Trump, and also about allowing wages to grow faster than that inflation, of which Democrats are literally the only party that wants to raise wages. Republicans would keep minimum wage at $7.25 if they could. And under Biden, as we just pointed out, wages are currently outpacing inflation and have been for over a year, close to a year and a half. So this all largely just boils down to nonsense. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.